Airports look like some of the greatest infrastructure businesses on Earth. But behind the runways is a much more complicated machine. At first glance, it looks almost perfect. One runway, thousands of passengers, and every airline using it pays you. It sounds like the ultimate toll booth. But that simple idea hides a brutal financial reality. Governments traditionally built and owned airports. Then private investors realized they were looking at something rare: strategic infrastructure with enormous long-term cash flow. But investors aren't really buying today's earnings. They are buying a position that could generate cash for decades. But building an airport from scratch is where the fantasy starts to disappear. You need enormous amounts of land, runways, terminals, security, baggage systems, and infrastructure. And years can disappear into approvals, legal challenges, and regulation before the first aircraft arrive. Then there is debt. The moment you borrow billions, the interest clock starts. It doesn't care whether the airport is open. Berlin-Brandenburg shows what happens when that machine goes wrong. It was supposed to open in 2011. Instead, it finally opened 9 years late. And the cost rose from roughly 2 billion euros to 7 billion. Once the airport opens, the business model becomes much more interesting. There are two broad revenue engines. Airlines pay landing fees, passenger charges, and other fees for using the infrastructure. But airports can't simply charge whatever they want. Governments regulate these monopoly prices. So airports built another business inside the first. Parking, retail, food, hotels, car rentals, and surrounding property can all generate additional revenue. But there is a catch. Airports have enormous fixed costs. The lights stay on, security stays open, the runway still needs maintenance. COVID exposed that weakness perfectly. Small airports can be even worse. Without enough passengers, they struggle to spread those fixed costs and may depend on one airline or government support. Then there are ghost airports. Ciudad Real was built for demand that never arrived. The airports that win have scale, strong airline connections, and multiple sources of revenue. You're not buying a runway. You're buying the ecosystem around it.